and they are going the wrong direction.
What is going on with the Dallas Mavericks? 1 year ago, they seemed poised for an era of dominance, having embarrassed the Jazz and Suns in the playoffs, nearly sending both franchises spinning into rebuild mode. Even though they went on to lose to the eventual NBA champs in the Western Conference Finals, the future seemed bright with superstar Luka Doncic and a talented young core. But fast forward to the present day and the Mavericks missed the play-in entirely. Mark Cuban is trying to put out fires, and the franchise was fined $750,000 by the league for conduct undermining the integrity of the sport, begging us to ask the question,
how did it come to this?
Their first mistake was letting budding star Jalen Brunson walk for nothing. They thought his asking price was too high at $55 million over 4 years and that he still needed to prove himself. As a side note, the Knicks gladly coughed up $104 million over 4 years for Brunson, and he had a monster season, making him a serious contender for the Most Improved Player award. He led the Knicks to the conference semis, making him look like every part the player the Mavericks were lacking. If the Mavs had Brunson at $55 million, that would have been one of the best contracts in the league. Midway through this season, their record stood at a modest 29-26, and they were only 5th in the West, but Luka was playing like an MVP candidate.
And that Drew rim, it's still loose. Luka got it back.
He complained about his burden on offense and put pressure on the front office to find him a superstar teammate. This caused the Mavericks to go all in and trade key pieces Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith for controversial superstar Kyrie Irving on February 6th. After the trade, the Mavericks went 9-17 the rest of the way and 6-10 when Luka and Kyrie both played. They slipped from 5th in the West to 11th and missed the play-in 1 year after being one of the last 4 teams standing in the league. Let's take a look at their numbers over the last 2 seasons, as well as pre- and post-Kyrie Irving trade to see if we can figure out what went wrong. I started by comparing last year's stats to this year's. Their offensive rating actually got a lot better, so I moved on to defensive rating and found that it plummeted from 7th in the league to 25th. The drop in defensive rating against their improvement on offense yielded an overall drop in net rating from 7th to 20th. Then I wondered if moving Dinwiddie from the bench to fill in the Brunson hole in the starting lineup depleted their bench too much. But they relied on their bench for virtually the same percentage of their points as last year, so it looks like defense really is their most glaring issue. To put the importance of defense in perspective, in the last 10 years, the NBA champion averaged 6th in defensive rating during the regular season, and that number jumped up to 4th during the playoffs. In short, if your goal is to win the finals, it's not enough to be a killer offensive team. The Mavericks have constructed a powerful offensive roster, but they're weak defensively, and it broke them this year. This takes us back to the Kyrie Irving trade. If you take a look at their numbers before and after the trade on February 6th, you'll see their offense improved by 2 points per 100 possessions, and their defense got worse by 3.5 points per 100 possessions, for a net decline of 1.5 points. That hit the Mavericks' record hard, but more than that, the trade seemed to crush the heart and soul of the team. Luka has been quoted saying, "Basketball just isn't fun anymore."
I don't feel it's me, just being out there. I used to have really fun, smiling on court, but it's just been so frustrating for a lot of reasons, not just basketball.
And Kyrie has said, "We just have to love ourselves, no matter what happens."
And we just got to really put our arm around him as a brother and as a human being. And as humanity, we should care too. You know, the wins and losses will come and go, but I just want him to be okay in that piece. So
even a moderately successful postseason run could have fixed a lot of issues in Dallas, but they threw in the towel and didn't even try to make it to the playoffs, sitting 6 key players in an elimination game. It was a nifty display of tanking as the Mavericks regained control of their top 10 protected draft pick they owed the Knicks. I don't know if we've ever seen the soul of a team get crushed this quickly. They clearly didn't believe they'd be able to make a deep playoff run this year, so big changes are coming in Dallas as they don't want to run back their same roster next season. Their franchise is teetering on the edge of collapse in this era where superstars often leave middling franchises for greener pastures. Do you think the Mavericks can salvage their future? Given the chance, should they re-sign Kyrie Irving? What moves do you think Dallas should make to save their franchise? Comment below with your own thoughts. Give this video a like and subscribe to get notified of more pick and B-roll videos.